Welcome to the US Bring News channel. Watch the video to the end to find out the current and breaking news about the Russian war in Ukraine. On October 29th, Ukraine conducted another prisoner exchange. 52 Ukrainians were freed from Russian captivity. The prisoners are now free. This was announced by the head of the presidential administration, Andriy Yermak. We have carried out another prisoner exchange. We managed to free 52 of our people, consisting of officers, paramedics, sergeants, and soldiers, said Yermak. There are a total of 12 National Guard soldiers, including 2 from the Azov Regiment, 18 from the Navy, 8 from the State Border Guard Service, 9 from the Ground Defense Forces, 3 Armed Forces soldiers, and 2 civilians. Especially with the defenders of Azovstal and Mariupol, people who saved lives are returning to their abodes. Life-saving dwellings have a great importance in this regard. 65 with the head of the surgical department of the Mariupol military hospital located in Azovstal. And it was possible to replace the young military surgeon of the military mobile hospital. It might have been nice if it had changed. He faced different things. We are bringing back a sailor from Zminy Island with his wife, who recently left captivity, and a volunteer from Mariupol, who sang the symbolic song Moscow, Yermak noted. It's not clear if this will be good or bad. Some of those who have returned home are soldiers who were captured in the Chernobyl region. The soldiers were cornered and captured. As stated by the spokesman of the National Guard Ruslan Muzychuk, 7 soldiers who were captured and taken out of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant were freed. Meanwhile, the militants and the Russian Defense Ministry say that the exchange was carried out under a 50-50 plan. This is the 29th from the beginning of a full-scale war to this time. Prisoner exchange. 1,030 Ukrainians were released from Russian captivity, 101 of them civilians. Ukrainians are free. The fact that so many Ukrainians are free is of great importance for Ukraine. It should be recalled that on October 26th, another prisoner exchange took place between Russia and Ukraine, during which 10 fighters, decisively 1 officer and 9 privates and sergeants, returned to their abodes. It's a really good number. They are no longer prisoners. The Estonian authorities have approved a new package of military support for Ukraine. The head of the Estonian government, Kaja Kallas, announced this on October 13th. This aid package for Ukraine will be delivered quite quickly, and this will accelerate Ukraine. It includes winter equipment and ammunition. We are transferring winter equipment and ammunition to Ukraine. We will deliver them quickly, Kallas wrote. He also called for the acceleration of aid due to the fact that Ukraine liberated its territory. Let's step up our support for Ukrainians to liberate their land. This is the path to peace, he said. I support its acceleration as an important factor for the rapid recovery of Ukraine. The head of the Estonian government. In early October, Estonia delivered military unmanned aerial vehicles purchased by Russians with dual citizenship for the Russian occupation army to the Ukrainians. The man wanted to transfer unmanned aerial vehicles to Russian troops for use in the war in Ukraine. Estonian gunners are also training the Ukrainian army to use towed howitzers with the FH-70. This September, Estonia transferred a second new mobile hospital to Ukraine. In October, the Ukrainian armed forces received the latest Estonian PK-14 anti-tank mines. They can penetrate about 50 millimeters of steel armor at a distance of 50 meters. And that's a good number. It's quite functional. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine noted that Russian forces are very much deployed on the territory of Belarus. This was stated at the morning briefing of the UAF General Staff on October 30th, 2022. October 26th marked the arrival of an echelon of military equipment from the Russian Federation at the Brest railway station. The so-called Kadarovites were among the incoming individuals of the armed forces of the Russian Federation, it was decried. In addition, Russian troops are also seen in the settlements of Brest and Malorita. This may pose a threat to them. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine says that the threat of missile strikes and the launch of kamikaze drones from Belarus remains. may cause a big trouble. The activities of Russian troops on the territory of Belarus, on the other hand, are also recorded by analysts of the Belarusian Guyane Monitoring Group. Among other things, the train filled with Russian equipment and personnel moving from the Pukovichi railway station to the Osipovichi 1 station was recorded. The echelon included 2 Brem 142 S-19s self-propelled guns, 2 KAM-AZ mobile cranes, 4 KAM-AZ trucks, 3 different fuel trucks, 3 KAM-AZ, Kung, 3 BTR-80, 6 tinted KAM-AZ, 2 tinted Ural trucks, UAZ Patriot, 2 MLRS, 2 freight cars, and 6 passenger cars. Another echelon was evaluated at the Ozerish station. The PZM-2 had 3 Cayman MBTS, 5 BMP-2s, 2 BRDM-2s, MTLB, 2 9K35 Strela 10MS, 2 2S6 Tunguska SAM, 7 T-72B3 tanks, and 3 passenger train cars. These wagons are of great importance. The movement of equipment on Belarusian roads and activities at airports are also recorded. March-September 2022, 65,089 tons of ammunition were decommissioned by rail from Belarus to the Russian Federation. The United States will provide Ukraine with a new $275 million defense support package. The Associated Press writes about this by uploading it to 4 U.S. administration officials. The U.S. officials spoke on condition that their names not be released. According to officials, the allocation of a new package is expected to be announced today, October 28th. The new assistance from the United States will, to a very large extent, be directed at restocking artillery ammunition for Western weapon systems that are on standby in the armed forces of Ukraine. The M142 HIMARS will be transferred to the extremely high-mobility artillery rocket systems, including October ammunition. The American publication noted that Ukraine successfully used HIMARS in its counterattacks against the Russian occupying forces. October, as previously reported, the armed forces of Ukraine received 4 additional HIMARS systems from the United States. A new batch of weapons arrived on the eve of the Ramstein meeting on support for Ukraine, scheduled for Wednesday, October 12th. On October 14th, the United States Department of Defense publicly announced the contents of a new $725 million military assistance package for Ukraine. These supports will make a great contribution to Ukraine. In particular, the package includes high-mobility artillery rocket systems, HIMARS, very fast anti-radiation missiles, HARMS, more than 200 high-mobility multipurpose wheeled vehicles, HMMWVS, anti-tank weapons, small arms and light weapons ammunition and medical equipment shells. In general, the United States provided Ukraine with artillery shells capable of firing more than 1 million high and low-range projectiles for defense. Helped this standard 155mm howitzer he shells up 903.000 fragmentation, as well as 3,000 M982 Excalibur guided artillery shells, remote 7.000 armored mine prevention system, ROMS, 105mm howitzer shells and shells 180.000 content. It amounts to more than 1.09 million shells with a total weight of over 50,000 tons. The number of these bullets is quite large. The journalists of the Italian publication La Repubblica announced the details of the military support provided by Italy to Ukraine. This concerns the transfer of 6 PZH-2000 self-propelled guns, 2 MLRS and 155mm M109L self-propelled guns to the Ukrainian forces. This is, first of all, a very important contribution from a technological point of view, since 2 of the most powerful and modern combat systems currently available have been transferred. Among them are the PZH-2000 ACS and MLRS, which allowed the Ukrainian troops to decimate the Russian artillery, the report says. The type of specially designed Italian MLRS is unknown, but this is most likely the M270. Reports claim that the arsenal of the Italian army includes 22 units of such MLRS, some of which have been upgraded to the level of GMLRS. The media reported that 2 MLRS id to Ukraine. It is being provided and will be added to those proposed by London and Berlin, he said. It should be noted that Ukraine received the Mars 2 MLRS system from Germany and the M270 from Great Britain. If not paid attention, it can lead to great troubles. Also, La Repubblica journalists report that the recent decision of the government of former Prime Minister Mario Draghi allowed the transfer of M109L self-propelled guns to Ukraine. They emphasized that these self-propelled guns will be checked and then sent to Ukraine. These will be between 20 and 30 systems. A few weeks ago, it was noted that pictures of the M109 with Ukrainian symbols were published, apparently, but in fact this is the 52nd Division of the Italian Armed Forces. It was the emblem of the Artillery Regiment Torino. In fact, it belonged to him. The M109L is the Italian version of the upgraded 39 caliber long-barreled howitzer. According to journalists, Italy will also transfer M113 armored personnel carriers to Ukraine. This will be very good for Ukraine. They will allow the Ukrainian infantry to move without fear of explosions and shrapnel. This is an advantage. They are old, but effective. They are necessary to replace armored vehicles destroyed during the 8-month struggle, he said. On October 18th, Ukrainian Defense Minister Oleksiy Reznikov stated that Italy had delivered the 5th package of defense assistance to Ukraine. The exact contents of the package were not specified. The exact content should have been clear. After Russia's intensive attacks on Ukraine's infrastructure, Volodymyr Zelensky stated that he expects Italy and France to immediately make a decision to transfer SAMP/T air defense systems to Ukraine. We will wait for this process. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video to be informed of the developments at the speed of light.